What's your name? Zach. Zach.
That's me, Zach. And if you're watching this video, you probably want to be just like me, with a few minor changes. I didn't do that well on Survivor. Technically, I only beat one person who was deemed medically unfit to play the game, but I still consider myself to be a winner. And so does my therapist. Because honestly, my dream was never to win Survivor. It was always to play Survivor, which is why I devoted myself to studying and learning the casting process. I'm like the Nathan Fielder of Survivor casting. I'm proof that you can plan and study and rehearse your way onto this show. I studied the art of the audition tape. I listened to every single interview. I read books on the subject. I watched every single audition tape you can find online for Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race, any of those shows. Studied them as if they were sacred texts so that I could figure out what those people had done before me that had worked for them that I could then do in my own video to get cast. It would be really sad if it didn't work. It's still sad, but it would be a lot sadder. Look, getting cast for reality TV is no joke. It was definitely my dream. It might be yours. It's a lot of people's dreams, okay? We're talking tens of thousands of applicants every year for Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race, any of those shows. So there's no way to guarantee that you're gonna get the call. But my goal when I applied, and before, was to maximize my odds by making the best video possible that I felt they couldn't turn down. The point is, I know my shit when it comes to making an audition tape. And now that I no longer plan to audition for any more reality TV shows, all this information is just kind of sitting up here useless. I've had the opportunity on Cameo to help out a lot of people with individual videos and really like give specific feedback to them. But I just wanted to make this free general guide so that, because I know a lot of people don't want to spend money on that kind of thing, just to get information out there on like what makes a good audition tape and how to film it and how to edit it and what things to avoid, and just really get into the nitty-gritty on a very niche subject that means so much to the people who care about it. So that one day this
Second person voted out of Survivor 42. Zach.
could be you.
That's enough. You need to burn me your torch.
Before you start filming your video, it's important to consult as many resources as you can that'll give you kind of a hint on what to do, how to get cast. You're already doing that by watching this video. Great job. So this was a document that I made just to capture all of my research on the subject. Some might say that I went too far. Some might say I didn't go far enough. No one would say that. Oh my God. Basically, with that document, I wrote down every single thing I learned about the casting process in general and how I thought I could apply it to my own video. I think the most helpful thing I did overall was just watch as many audition videos as possible and take notes on those so that I could figure out exactly what it was that Survivor casting, or just reality TV casting in general, saw as a success and saw as like, this is what we're looking for. So here I have the video of Aubrey Bracco from Survivor 32, 34, and 38. And I think this is a really great example of a video done well, and a really great example for a lot of people, because Aubrey isn't the kind of person who's like crazy or wild or you'd immediately look at and be like, oh, that's casting gold. And yet she is. And she was able to portray that within her audition tape. And it's so clear why she was able to get the call. Even if the whole video hasn't aged super well.
I can even hang with Ron Jeremy.
So because I'm genuinely an insane person, I wrote out every single thing that occurred in this video, both what she shows and what she says, just so I could get a better sense of what it was specifically we were learning from her and what the casting directors saw that made them want to call her.
Hi, my name is Aubrey Bracco. I'm 28 years old and I live in Cambridge, Massachusetts. From 9 to 5, I'm a monkey in Boston's corporate jungle. And I guess you could say I'm just your average law-abiding citizen, except when it comes to crosswalks. I commute to my social media marketing job in Boston every day.
What I did after that was I took notes on every single thing we learned about her in her video, both the basic facts and what we learned just about her personality. I did the same thing with a bunch of different videos. Some of them ended up being helpful and some of them were Joey amazing. What I learned from this research is that there's a lot of different styles for how you can make a video. It could be like Troyzan, where it's this big cinematic masterpiece. It could be like Wendell, where it's just a very basic video of him talking to a camera. It could be like Aubrey or Spencer, where it's somewhere in between. But the thing that all of these videos have in common is they give you a very clear sense of the contestant's personality and what their life is like. When people talk about just be yourself in an audition tape, it comes off as very basic advice, but what it really means is show us who you are. Really demonstrate what a day in the life looks like for you, how you speak, how you interact with the world, because that's how you're gonna be on Survivor. So here's what I did. Before I filmed my video, I made 2 lists. One of them was just all of the facts that I wanted to get out about myself in this video. These are the things that I thought would be like the real sellable details about my life. For instance, I did debate. I was a debate champion in high school. I thought that would be a really good pitch for myself. I scored well in school. I got really good grades. Thought, okay, I'm a smart guy. I knew I was a super fan. I knew I was Jewish. Things like that. The second list was all of just the personality traits about myself that I know I have that I wanted to make sure I'm portraying within my video. So for me, that's like being competitive, smart, funny, confident, very like strongly held beliefs that I'm not willing to compromise on. I wanted to portray all of that. And by writing out these 2 lists, I had like a real structure before I even started filming of what I wanted my video to look like, without just scripting the entire thing out. Once you have your list, you should figure out what your main thing is, because you're not gonna be able to portray every single thing about your life within 3 minutes. So figure out what it is that's most unique and interesting about you in particular, and that's maybe the most marketable in an audition video that you can really like sell yourself as within the tape. For me, that was speech and debate. I was also just graduating high school when I applied, so I didn't really have that much other life experience that I could draw on. So I really leaned into that angle and made a lot of my video about how I succeeded in speech and debate. Spencer Bledsoe did something similar with chess. Wendell talked about how he went to a top law school and then quit it all to go into furniture making. Everyone has an interesting story, and you need to figure out what it is that's yours, the most important, most interesting part of your story that you can portray in your video. By the way, I can see how this part might seem discouraging. If you kind of listen to it and you're like, oh, but I don't have anything that's really cool in my life or any great story. Yes, you do. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a life. Everyone has things that they've overcome or things that they've accomplished. You just have to figure out what yours are and how to market them. Like for me, I won a couple of debate tournaments in high school, okay? It's not the most impressive thing in the world. But when you watch my audition tape, I sold the shit out of those debate championships. I just want to be clear that I'm just sharing what worked for me, which is not the only way to get cast on one of these shows, obviously, right? I carefully studied the process and really just put my heart and soul into making my video. But you can have success without doing that. I mean, let's take a look at Mike Turner from Survivor 42. Let's take a look at his audition tape.
Ooh, a little scary. Say hi, Tom. Stacy. Who else would I be talking to? I only have one girlfriend now. Always. Always and forever. You hold me with you. They got a dream to me.
That somehow came true.
Now, Mike is obviously phenomenal casting. I don't know how they figured that out. I mean, he didn't say his name. He didn't say his name in the audition video. It breaks every single rule that I could possibly make on how to get cast. And yet he did it. So clearly there are a million different ways to get cast on this show. And what I'm saying is just one of them. Mike's gonna kill me. No, we're good. We're friends. He's gonna think it's funny. I should just text him. So I would highly recommend anyone who's interested in going on one of these reality shows to do the same thing that I did. Write a list, figure out exactly what it is about yourself that's marketable and that would be good TV before you even sit down to film. All right, filming your audition tape. There are just some basic do's and don'ts that you should respect. Like, don't film your audition tape vertically on a roof. Don't go over the 3-minute limit. Don't do anything really weird in your video. I remember watching one where someone peed themselves. I was disturbed. Do find a place where you feel comfortable filming. Don't film your audition tape in your room where you gotta like whisper so that your parents don't hear you talk. No, film it wherever you can be loud and just have as much energy as you can possibly give off. Also, if you're not very good in front of a camera, first of all, you gotta work on that because it's kind of part of the gig. And second, just film a lot of takes, because the first ones you do, you'll probably be a little bit quieter, you'll probably still be getting into the flow of it, but after you've been filming for like an hour or two, you'll really stop remembering that the camera's even there, and you'll be giving better takes than you ever thought you could. I know that I probably filmed like 10 hours when it came to making my video, and then of that 10 hours, there's probably like only an hour of like usable stuff, and of that hour, there was probably only like 20 minutes of stuff that was actually good, and of those 20 minutes, there was probably only like 6 minutes that was actually great. But it's a 3-minute video, and if you've got 6 minutes of great stuff, that is more than enough. So you've got your two lists now, so you've got a pretty good sense of what you want to say in this video. So just say the things that you put on your facts list and present them in a way that shows off the personality traits you wrote in your traits list. Let's look at my own audition tape, and specifically the part where I talked about being a debate champion, and see how I presented that and what I got across with this section. Look, I'm a debate national champion. I'm the champion of champions. So these are all the trophies that I got from debate. This one right here in the back was from a tournament called the Tournament of Champions.
I was the champion.
I know how to just look at someone, look at my judge, whether it's an old lady or a recent college student or a coach, and know how to form my arguments based on who I'm presenting them to. And that's what you need on Survivor. So what facts did I portray in this section? I showed that I'm a speech and debate, not just competitor, but that I was an expert in the subject. Which, by the way, I totally oversold myself in this section, as you should in this video and basically anytime you're applying for anything. Did I win the tournament champions? Yes, that is a true fact about myself. Did I win in an easier event? Maybe I did. So I just presented it as the most marketable way that I could present it. Funny story, by the way, someone actually wrote in to Dalton Ross when the cast got released, claiming that I was lying about my speech and debate success, which I don't know who you are, but that was wild, man. I think people did a similar thing with JD Robinson in Survivor 41 with his track medals and stuff. Get a life. Oh, JD didn't win any individual medals. He only won team medals. Shut the fuck up. I just noticed I paused on myself giving pog face, so that's fun. So that's the fact that I had, right? That I was a debate champion. Now let's talk about how I actually presented myself during that, because I hit a lot of the traits that I had on my list within that one clip. I come off as very competitive, very cocky, overconfident. You could even say douchey in that clip. Very smart as well. I come off as funny too, with the little close up on my nose. That one clip tells you a lot about who I am, or at the very least, who I am in this video. There was one other thing that I did in this clip that was really important, which was I explained how I do what I do, and I tied it back into Survivor. At the very end, I'm talking about my specific strategy when it comes to going into a speech or a debate round. And then I end it with, and that's the strategy that I would use on Survivor. That's something that they're really looking for, no matter what your job is, no matter what your main item of your list is. They want to know, okay, how is this going to be relevant to Survivor? Whether it's you're a father, and that's going to be important because you're going to kind of take on the paternal role of your tribe, while at the same time, you've got the motivation of wanting to do it for your kids no matter what, and you're willing to do anything to get that money for them. Or maybe you're a computer programmer, and you're used to crunching the numbers and really sitting there and finding the one bug in the system that's going to destroy the entire thing. And that's what you're going to do on Survivor. You're going to be going through your alliance, and you're going to be finding the one squeaky wheel and just removing that from the game at the perfect moment. Figure out what your thing is, how it relates to Survivor, and just make it unique and make it fun. Also, don't be afraid to improvise. If you think of something funny, just say it. Worst case scenario, it flops and you just don't put it in the video. But if it ends up working, it could be the highlight of your entire audition. I think Malcolm is a really great example of that improv style audition tape done very well.
I look like Coach, but I'm not insane. I do think the world revolves around me.
As for the rest of my video, I just continued going down the list that I'd written and made sure to try and get everything that I wanted to portray about myself out there. And I made sure that every time I talked about those things, I was doing it in a way that reinforced the personality traits that I'd written in my other list. So when people say, be yourself, I mean, it's true. This is me, and the personality traits that I was giving off in this video are traits that I have in my normal life. They're certainly heightened in the video, and I certainly made a conscious effort to bring those traits to life as much as possible, but I'm not pretending to be someone that I'm not. It's just understanding who you are and portraying that in a video. That's what it comes down to. First of all, with editing, it's important to remember that they're not looking for a professional video editor, okay? You don't need to have crazy effects in it. You don't need to really go above and beyond in that sense. In fact, it might be distracting if you do. That being said, video editing is an amazing tool for making your video even better. Awkward silences. If there's a take you really like, but the ending got fucked up, you can take the part you liked, add a little picture or something, and then add the ending. You can add music, which is so important, and I always recommend to people to add music because it just adds like a certain level of energy, and you can kind of define whatever you want the scene to be based on whatever music you add. It's like in Survivor, they'll add a crazy epic rock song whenever something epic is happening, and then they'll add like the goofy music when I'm there. First, I want to start off just by talking about the intro to your video because it's such an important part. I mean, it's literally the first thing the casting is going to see about you. And of course, you want to get to the name, age, location, job as soon as possible. Those are the 4 essential things. But if you can really catch their attention right away, then you're off to a great start. This is a guy, Mike Gabler, who's allegedly on Survivor 43. I know nothing about him, but his audition video is online, and let's just watch the intro to this thing. I have no clue who this guy is, but I need him to win. Just from this quick intro, you can tell this guy is going to be great TV because he's insane in a loving way, Mike. He comes off like a crazy person, and that's great. And he's fully just buying into that character and just showing these insane things. This is an amazing intro. I can absolutely see why this guy was cast. Check out my BFFFL Tori Meehan's video. I mean, she starts it off in a bikini. That's bold. It's certainly going to catch casting's attention. Or look at the video for Jonathan Young from Survivor 42. He knows that his biggest selling point is his physique and his fitness, so he front loads that all into the first 10 seconds of his video. Or look at the opening of my video. Here, fish. Fish, you want some food? You want some food? You want some food? Fuck you, fish. Also, a good thing about this intro was that because I have someone filming it for me, it proves that I have friends, which as a Survivor superfan is never a guarantee. The point is, there's a lot of different ways that you can start your audition video. You just want to immediately get their attention and give them a reason to cast you. As for the rest of the video, structure what you filmed in a way that makes sense. Whatever your most important thing is, put that in the front. End strong as well. You want to have a great conclusion. Just get all the footage, take the best stuff of what you've got that reinforces the list and the character traits that you've put down, and get that into your video. Make sure to respect the 3-minute time limit too, because like that's there for a reason, because you should be able to get a captivating reason of why they should be casting you within 3 minutes. If you're doing 6 minutes, yeah, you'll have twice as much stuff, but they're not gonna watch it. When it comes to cutting, let's say that you've got too much footage, figure out what's already been accomplished in your video and cut the worst version of that. Like, let's say you have a lot of videos that show how smart you are, right? You only need one. You only need to really prove that once and then move on to other things. Or if there's 2 really funny clips that both don't really do anything other than show that you're funny, just choose the funnier one, because they'll get the gist that you're a funny guy just based off of that, and then you can put other important things in as well. As for the ending of your video, just try to be original. Don't be cliche. You don't know how many videos I've watched on Cameo that end with, and that's why I'm gonna be your next sole survivor. It's just been done, so if you could think of something that will really stand out to them and make you memorable, that's best. Say what you will about Mike Turner's video, he ends singing on top of a roof. Like, at the very least, that makes me curious of who the hell is this guy? And what would he be like on this show? Always and forever, you're rolling with you. Ain't got a dream to me that somehow came true. When you finish your video, don't just send it in right away. Sleep on it. See how it looks in a week from now. Show it to your friends. Ask them, how do I come off on this video? And see if it comes off in the way that you were trying to portray yourself with your personality list. And then once you finally feel good, once you feel comfortable with the video, it's as good as it possibly could be, just send it in and forget about it. Because they could call you in a day, call you in a week, they could call you in a year. For me, it took a year for them to call. But just rest assured that you did as much as you possibly could, and if you don't end up getting the call, there's always next year. This show is never going to die, and if you do get the call, welcome to the club. See that? That could be you. Lastly, I want to give you guys a little bit of hope, because I know it can be intimidating when there's tens of thousands of people that you're competing against, but the secret is that most of those auditions are genuinely terrible. I mean, the casting director of Survivor, Big Brother, and The Amazing Race literally put out an Instagram story begging people to stop sending him TikTok dances for their audition tape. There's a lot of dead weight in the field, so you're not really competing against tens of thousands. You're competing against the top 10% of that. I hope this video was helpful and gave you just a really good starting point on like how to begin your audition video, and hopefully inspired some people to give it a shot, because there's no reason not to, and it's the coolest thing in the world, even if you're out early. If you want more individual help on your audition tape, I am available on Cameo, where I'll literally just sit down, watch your audition video, and give about like 20 minutes of feedback, just going over every single thing that you include and whether or not I think it helps or hurts your chances. Please subscribe and let me know if you want more of these videos. I may not be good at Survivor, but I certainly know a lot about it, and Big Brother and The Amazing Race and all of these stupid shows. So if you have any specific topics you think would be interesting for me to talk about, leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna go finish my audition for the Challenge USA. See you there, TJ.